Welcome back, fellow Mortal Kombat fans. Today we're going to talk about a special character in the Mortal Kombat series. Most of you love him, some of you don't, and that's alright. This video is of course about the one and only Bi-Han. And I have some questions about our fellow Bi-Han, but first I need to share a spoiler disclaimer. If you have not finished the story of Chaos Reigns and are watching this is your heads up to back out now. Now, I want to dig in and be straight up on my thoughts about Bi-Han before I go into the wild on this topic. When Mortal Kombat 1 first released, I wasn't sure if I would like Bi-Han, as someone who has been a Sub-Zero main throughout several of the Mortal Kombat games, and this has been going on for a long time. Kuai Liang to me has always been the definitive Sub-Zero. As most of you old hats know, we had Bi-Han back in the day with the very original Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat mythologies, so MK1 truly has been the game changer in giving Bi-Han a genuine shot as far as being fleshed out, but that's not really going to be the focus of this video. I mean, let's be real, are we going to see Bi-Han again? That was a pretty strong ending. I do feel like it's possible we will see him again, but there is a chance that this was it. Again. Now I do want to be clear here that although I do prefer Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, Bi-Han as Sub-Zero has really grown on me. And as we all know right now, Bi-Han is gone. Let that sink in. With the story officially over, we no longer have a standing Sub-Zero or Noob Saibot. His body is stored away at the Temple of the Elements. Which, by the way, I gotta say I do like that callback to MK mythologies with the Temple of the Elements. I think from here, it will connect again, and Bi-Han will be resurrected by Quan Chi to come full circle. Okay, I really don't think that's going to happen, but what I want to know, as I'm sure most of you fellow fans are also wondering, is what happens next? Who's going to become Sub-Zero? Who's going to be Noob Saibot? Is Bi-Han going to resume being Noob Saibot? Is he going to be Sub-Zero again with the power to go back and forth? Honestly, the latter seems unlikely to me, but absolutely worthy of being addressed. I don't know about you guys, but this really wasn't the ending I was expecting, although this probably isn't the ending yet. They really did kill two birds with one stone by shipping him off at the end. I know this can't be the end of Sub-Zero or Noob Saibot. At the very least, I think we will get one back in this game. That is, if it does continue to lengthen with its story. There are far too many Sub-Zero and Noob Saibot fans to bench Bi-Han without someone taking the mantle for Sub-Zero or Noob Saibot. As far as another Sub-Zero, I do think it's possible that Hanzo takes it, although I'm not convinced. At least not yet. Now, as far as Sub-Zero and Noob Saibot, who I think will return in Mortal Kombat 1, I think it would be more likely that Noob Saibot returns in Chaos Reigns. And the reason I could see Noob Saibot returning before Sub-Zero in Chaos Reigns, I think largely has a lot to do with the ending of Chaos Reigns. The ending parts ways with Sector now being the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei, and Kuai Liang addressing Cyrax as the Grand Master of the Shirai Ryu. So I do have some reasons for Noob Saibot returning first instead of Sub-Zero, that is in regards of Bi-Han. Now that Cyrax and Sector are both Grand Masters, I think they're going to want to make room to flesh both of those characters out in their own roles. I genuinely just see more possibilities for Noob Saibot returning versus Bi-Han returning as a human and wanting to make amends. Could it happen? I think it could, and I do think it'd be cool, but I don't see it going in that direction. I know I teased about it earlier, but there really is a connection between Quan Chi and Bi-Han, and a little bit with Shang Tsung too. And with that being said, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if one of the sorcerers made their way into the Temple of the Elements and resurrected him, or find some way to bring him back. But hang on, I'm not done with the theories yet. Yeah, Bi-Han didn't have a good relationship with Shang Tsung or Quan Chi in Mortal Kombat 1, so the resurrection would have to play out similar to how Quan Chi brought Ermac back, but as we know, Ermac is a collection of souls. I really don't know how hard it would be to bring Noob Saibot back as a possessive single soul, but that's where I throw my 2 cents in for that theory. If he does get resurrected, I definitely see it being by Quan Chi versus Shang Tsung. Seriously, we can't go that long without Sub-Zero and Noob Saibot. One of them has to come back. Now here's another theory, call me crazy. Sector now runs the Lin Kuei. The Cyber Initiative could be fleshed out. And I'm not gonna lie, I do think it would be pretty cool if we got a Cyber Sub-Zero again, but this time under the mantle of Bi-Han. Or Bi-Han being Cyber Sub-Zero, if you know what I mean. I know, it's a little far-fetched. For those who haven't played Mortal Kombat 9, Sub-Zero gets captured and he gets turned into Cyber Sub-Zero. Now that's only happened once, and we have seen hints of Smoke being Cyber just through variations in the story, and I really don't know what direction they're going to take the story to next, but I do think it would be really cool to have a Cyber Sub-Zero again. And yeah, he was an MKX as a variant. I can't help but think how cool it would be to have an evil Cyber Sub-Zero, and that really would be a callback of Sub-Zero's history, like Mortal Kombat Trilogy. You have the maskless Sub-Zero, you have the Ninja Sub-Zero, and you have Noob Saibot, who obviously was Sub-Zero. So if this were to happen, it would really raise the stakes because now we would have Bi-Han as Sub-Zero, Bi-Han as Noob Saibot, and Bi-Han as Cyber Sub-Zero. And that would make a pretty cool callback to Mortal Kombat Trilogy as far as Mortal Kombat 1 giving a nod to its roster. Mortal Kombat just seems to have this strange fascination with Sub-Zero and giving him different identities. Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, Bi-Han Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero turning into Noob Saibot, Sub-Zero turning into a cyborg, female Sub-Zero. Well, actually the female Sub-Zero hasn't happened unless you're gonna count Frost. Which leads me to my next theory. Yes, there was a callback in the end of Mortal Kombat 1 between the way Noob Saibot is going out and the way Frost went out in the 3D era. Because of both of them being rebellious, that is Noob Saibot and Frost, they both now share a similar ending where they're sealed off into a temple, and this is to prevent them from using power and coming back and obviously causing chaos. Not that kind of chaos though, not that one. Now, my feeling on this theory isn't too strong, but I do think it's worth mentioning. For instance, we did see Chameleon in the story and she played a small part and she's a cameo. So on that token, I think it's possible that Frost could also be a cameo that's already on the roster that plays a part in the story later on too. And as most of us know, Frost in previous games has always been Lin Kuei. I don't know how she would tie into this story. She hasn't had presence yet in Mortal Kombat 1, but I would assume it would be Lin Kuei. However, Frost has always been power hungry. So it's kind of hard for me to see her as a disciple of Sector, given when she was under Kuai Liang Sub-Zero she turned on him, and when she was given the opportunity by Kronika to have extra power, she took her up on that offer 100%, became the Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei, and went full Cyber Initiative. So with that being said, I think it is possible that Frost is thrown into the mix somehow that could possibly try to bring Bi-Han back in the Cyber Initiative, kinda pulling on the previous theory. And even if Frost isn't one of the main responsibilities for Bi-Han returning, whether it be Sub-Zero or Noob Saibot, which would most likely be Sub-Zero, as most of you know, she's one of my favorite characters. I'd just like to see her come back in general. The Lin Kuei really doesn't have that many members right now, the Shirai Ryu does, but I really do hope they beef up the tensions between the Shirai Ryu and the Lin Kuei at some point, because there are popular fan favorites on both sides of the roster, and I think there's so much potential for fun storytelling with both sides. Now, somebody brought this up in my Discord, and I think it's a really good point. In regards to Noob Saibot, we've seen a Titan for just about every character now, but we haven't seen one for Noob Saibot. So, if we were to bring Noob Saibot back in Mortal Kombat 1, or a future installment that doesn't need to include Bi-Han, there's still a Noob Saibot available from Liu Kang's timeline in Mortal Kombat 11, and I don't think he's been mentioned or seen anywhere so far in the story, and that's even including between character dialogues. I've also seen some debate whether Invasions is canon or not in MK1, and if we are going to assume that Invasions are canon in Mortal Kombat 1, then we've already gotten rid of the Titan Sub-Zero. So again, that does lead me to think there is more possibility for Noob Saibot returning in this game as far as the story and being alive versus Sub-Zero, and I say that in regards to Bi-Han being Sub-Zero. This is all about which one Bi-Han is going to be. Is he going to be Sub-Zero, Noob Saibot, or is he just going to be left at this? And if he is going to be left at this, I'm assuming the story's going to continue and create new plots kind of like it did in this last DLC. However, if we do get a new Sub-Zero in MK1, I just really hope he's written well. Genuinely, I miss Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, but I've come to really enjoy the Bi-Han Sub-Zero too. Getting either one of those would be really cool with me. I really don't know that I want a third identity for Sub-Zero, say like Hanzo, if that becomes a possibility. It'd have to be really well written. I love Sub-Zero, and it took some time for Bi-Han to grow on me. And I do think it was a bold move to remove Bi-Han because it is odd having Sub-Zero and Noob Saibot on the roster, but knowing they're not active in the story. If this truly is the end for Bi-Han, once again it was wrapped up pretty quick, and I hope that's not the case. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Your guys' support means everything. I feel like I've shared quite a few theories. I really want to know what you guys think. I want to hear some fresh takes, or if you think one of mine sound legitimate. If you're new to the channel, I upload every week, and I'm live here on YouTube almost every night. Much love everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support, and take care.